All right, here we are. We got grade A picks back. We just switched our platform, everybody, and now we're live on the Twitter reaction show. So you're my first guest again, grade A picks, and welcome back again. If you didn't see the other show, this guy was at one of the first UFC shows, which is not many people were there. Grade A.
No, nobody was. It was empty, man.
Yeah, like you could maybe be like you know how World War II survivors are like. You know what I mean? Like you could be like that now. Like they'll be like, well, there's a couple people left that are alive from that show, and you're that guy.
I'm that guy. I know. It was like, what do you call it? Back in the day, they wanted to end all this because of the violence.
Right, and that's what I tell people. The shows I went to, I'm pretty sure it wasn't allowed in Vegas at the time. Like it was,
Yeah,
it was like it wasn't banned, but like they couldn't do shows there.
It was like Idaho, North Dakota, those random states out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and for you, what sucks for you is you didn't get a ticket stub. So so I'll give you a little background. My buddies who went back when we were 21, 20 to those shows, a couple of them got their ticket stubs signed and stuff, and I was just a drunk idiot and probably had it in my pocket and just threw it out. Yeah, but like that was the dark ages of sport. Like really. I really should I've kept those tickets. My boys have them, which are cool because I show them off as if they're mine. But I was at the show too,
Yeah.
But anyway, so
groin strikes were legal.
Yeah, I mean, anything go. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
anything but an eye poke, and I think that was about it.
Yeah, I think you get headbutt and everything, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So this show, we're gonna go through. You haven't seen these, so I of course picked these out, and I'll shout out the owners of these tweets. So let's go through them real quick. This is my man Geary. He's very active on Twitter, Geary. So we get along pretty well, me and him. He says, I think Anderson at his prime, this is Anderson Silva, would have beaten Rob Whittaker, Paulo Costa, and Vittori. Now, for me, I'm gonna take it further. I also think the Spider would have beat Izzy Adesanya as well. I think the Spider was way before his time. And, he used to have to apologize if he didn't finish the guy. Like, he'd have to apologize to the crowd. Like, sorry about that. People were booing him, like, it's because he didn't finish somebody, Yep. So, I think he takes Rob, who's shorter, Costa, who's shorter, Vittori, who's shorter. I think he takes all of them
out.
I think he takes them out easily, like he was taking out everybody else at that point.
Yep, absolutely. I 100% agree with that one.
Yeah, so we agree with you, Geary. Next one up, we got my man Marty's hairline. So Marty's hairline is he's pretty active too. He's got a pretty good amount of followers. Let's be honest, if Rogan wants to say the N-word, who's gonna stop him? It's a video of him like kicking stuff and being Rogan. But then if you see next to it, I added there's somebody put a picture of Francis Ngannou. So the reason I picked this is not because of like the Rogan stuff is going on. I try to stay out of that, but Francis could stop him, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody could stop him, Francis is like, look at that guy. Can you see him?
I can see him. Yeah, I just blew it up a little bit. That's why you see my fingers going.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, last week he fought, or or 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Was it last week?
Last week. I mean, he won with a blown ACL and something else, meniscus or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy. And we're going to talk about this in a second or two. Actually, I talked about it on the last show I had. They'll let Jeremy Stevens walk. He's all upset. He's lost 6 in a row. They'll let the heavyweight champ walk. They don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? Like they'll let Adesanya. I mean, they'll let Ngannou walk. Like they don't care who walks. Like, and the thing is, like, who's he going to fight if he leaves? If he goes boxing, I mean, he'll make some money, but he'll get killed in boxing. I mean, Tyson Fury will destroy him in a boxing match, not a fight, but
right. Bellator, forget it.
Yeah, like who's he going to fight? Like, I mean, there's barely any competition in the UFC at heavyweight. Like so. Anyway, this is a cool one. This is fight picks that go hard. And this is a really cool picture. Obviously you can't see his other eye because he doesn't have it, but that's Bisping after defeating Anderson Silva. And that's a cool picture of him just like bloody. Like Bisping took a lot of damage that night. I actually had him losing the fight 3-2, but don't tell the Bisping Mafia on Twitter. They go crazy, those little dudes. But this is a cool picture. It's Bisping. I think he fought that fight without his other eye. I think because he has a glass eye. But yeah, that was a really cool, good fight. Silva Bisping. You recall it at all? Or?
I don't. What was the backstory with his eye? How did that get?
I think he got it. I think it was damaged in a fight, and he had to get it removed. But then he would lie during physicals that he when they were like, "Can you see?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he I think he fought a few years with one eye, which
one eye. I did hear that. Yeah, I was like, that
super dangerous to do because think about it. Guys stop fighting when they can't see out of one eye in a fight, and this guy went into the fight like that.
Yep.
So, and I'm not a big Bisping guy. I think him calling out Dan Henderson for a title defense was outrageous. But he's tough as shit, and he always put on good fights, Bisping. All right, let's see what's next. Next, we got here just what we talked about on the preview show. You got the Diaz brothers prodigy Nick Maximoff slides into the co-main event as second defense. Being with Nate and Nick a lot prepared me for a situation like this. So again, we both picked against him. So I just thought it was interesting. The Diaz brothers are pretty much always in discussions. But I think we both went the opposite way. But this is interesting that they're going to start producing fighters now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it'll be interesting to see how they pan out, some of these up and comers that they are training. It's going to be a tough one. Again, I'm still going with Soriano, but I don't know if they have the fortitude of Diaz. Maybe Maximo gets it done.
Right. Yeah, and that's from MMA Junkie, who's got a blue check mark. They put a lot of stuff out on Twitter. Next up, we're getting some funny stuff. This is from Tyke Myson, 123. So there's a lot of Connor guys and Connor haters, but this is funny. It's a Ring doorbell. It's like doorbell rings. It's midnight. You see this. What do you do? Can you see it? It's Connor all flexed up, jacked out of his mind, looking all crazy shit at your door. So I go two ways here before you go. If I got the party supplies in my house, supplies that can get me through hanging out with him, even though he'll punch anybody, then I'll let him in and we can hang, right? But if I don't have the party supplies, maybe I got to come with the 9 because he's gonna be mad if you can't hang. So what do you do if your doorbell rings and it's midnight and you got that guy there?
I slip him across the border and do a wild night out in Tijuana with him.
Yeah, there you go. So you guys are heading out, huh? You got
We're heading out.
He's already dressed for it. You got the slick. It looks like he's got his wife's shirt on or whatever. But
exactly, we're going to TJ.
Yeah, Connor is crazy. All right, next up, we got just some asshole. I like his picture. See his picture? It looks like a naked person. But so drop some movie recommendations. This guy posts a lot of MMA. This is not really MMA related, but a movie I would recommend is Venom 2. I just saw it. I like Venom 1. I liked Tom Hardy, I guess. I haven't even know who he was till recently, but Venom 2. I like the concept of Venom and the right match of the alien and the dude, and they're both kind of losers, but they match together well. So that's my recommendation for him. What do you got for a movie recommendation?
I'm looking forward. There's a new one coming out, I believe, on Netflix that goes back. I'm a horror guy, so it goes back a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre one.
Okay, so it's like they keep rebooting stuff, but
it's like rebooted, but the trailer would look pretty interesting. Like he's on a train, Leatherface, and he just jacks somebody up with a chainsaw and just goes nuts on the train.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds cool, man. You like the blood and gore. All right. So those are our two recommendations. Just some asshole. Next up, this is from my boy Mike Wright, who's actually going to be guest on the show. He went on another show with me recently, and this is cool, man. So you can't see this, but I should have sent this to you for you to watch. I guess he's maybe getting married too, Mike Wright. But this first dance is like this couple is doing. She if you probably can't see, but she's putting him in a head and arm choke. A triangle choke. So like in the dance, they're like choreographing moves. Like she throws him, then she shoots. She puts him in an arm bar. He like lifts her up. Like it's a cool like choreographed first dance. Like it's like all MMA stuff.
I'm going right for the stunner, man.
You gonna see hit her with the stunner?
Just hit him with the stunner, or just like Randy Orton out of nowhere.
What about the sharpshooter?
Yeah, we could do that too.
That could work, right?
That
Yeah.
could work.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just thought, I thought it was a funny tweet, interesting. Like, people are doing different things with these first dances now, and this was like cool. Like, they were definitely. If you watch the tweet, it's pretty cool. So Mike Wright got it from the Figgin. You guys should check it out. First dances, especially young guys that aren't married yet. Maybe you could talk the fiance into it, right?
There you go. Or maybe like a little Bill's Mafia.
Bill's Mafia.
Right at the table with the jumping on a table at the wedding.
All right.
Putting the bride through a power bomb.
Nice. All right. So this is an interesting one. We should discuss this one. This is more less funny, more interesting. Chad Mendez, who's like ripped right now, he must be juiced out of his mind. He looks ripped. Is set to make more in his BKFC bare knuckle fighting debut than Francis Ngannou did in UFC 270. That's his win over Cerro the other day. So what are our thoughts here? Like it's either going to show me a couple things, right? This is my thought process. I know putting on fights is expensive, and even through COVID was very expensive for UFC. But if BKFC can stay afloat, I know they have even like benefits and pension, I think, over there. Like if they don't go bankrupt and can somehow pay Chad Mendez more than the UFC paid Francis, if they don't go bankrupt, if they don't go under the next 5 years, then it shows that the UFC has underpaid their fighters because they didn't go bankrupt paying Chad, right? But if they go bankrupt, it shows that like the reason you don't pay Chad Mendez more than Francis Ngannou is because we can't sustain that, right? So I guess we're going to see if this is sustainable. If it is, then Dana and the UFC are assholes, and we can go back to this exact moment. Chad Mendez makes more a week or two later than Francis Ngannou. That should never happen. You know what I mean? That's like Jordan making less than Paxson, or like somebody even worse, like Chris Dudley. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't happen, right? So, what are your thoughts on this? Like, what that's my thought. Like, we're going to see how it plays out. What's your thought?
My thought too, I think it's like it's going to be a reliving the old WWE, WCW days when WCW took all that talent, heavy payroll.
Right.
And exactly.
Yeah. You're right. Like, and so just so you know, Jay Henry just jumped in, and Jay Henry is a big WWE and wrestling fan. So Jay, you see it. When they took on that crazy payroll of Sting and all those dudes, right? I think I saw that. Like, it's Bret Hart. They tried to like they took on all those guys, and like it's not sustainable, right?
Right. And some of them had guarantee contracts. So that was pretty wild back in the day. So I don't think it's going to be sustainable. I mean, even Mike Perry went over there, and look at Paige Van Zandt. I mean, she's getting paid more, she said, than, anything she ever did at UFC.
Right. I mean, I think Corey Anderson's making more at Bellator as well. Here goes Jay Henry's got big here tweet. Let's see what Jay Henry's got to say. We'll take anytime we get somebody watching, we'll stop for a second. It makes zero sense. No way BKFC has that much money. Right. Ryan Kavanaugh of Triller wouldn't even be that stupid. Right. That's signs of future bankruptcy. Exactly. So that's my point, Jay.
Yep.
Like if in 5 years they're not bankrupt and again, paying Chad Mendez more than paying Francis Ngannou on another promotion, like those are crazy investments there. So if the UFC is cheap enough to pay Francis less than Mendez, and somehow they sustain that, then we got to talk about it. But to a normal person with logic, Jay Henry, me, you, grade A picks, like anybody with logic would be like, there's no way they sustain like this. This is like a bankruptcy written all over, like he said. Like, that's exactly what I'm thinking, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So let's see the next one here we got. And that's from Lewis Simpson, by the way, MMA. I don't know. I think we might follow. I'm not sure. Sometimes they're retweeted to me. I'd like to get these we'll follow back if I don't follow them. But, Lewis Simpson, that's a good little tweet. All right. This is the last one we got here. Ready? So this is from Derek Walker Jr. This is just a funny one for me and you as older dudes. And it's like, do you remember this? And this is from my man, the one and only Hog. You got to see Hog on the Twitter. Hog is just a big dude, man. He's like super well spoken though, and he's like a real positive dude. But he's just a big dude. So he retweeted it to Derek Walker Jr. But this goes out to my man Hog. Big Hog. You gotta check him out. He looks like Bobby Lashley, but not Bobby Lashley. He looks like who's that big? He looks like a massive mountain of a man, Hog. Anyway, so the tweet is about spring break, MTV spring break. Do you remember this? And yes, I remember this. just straight debauchery. Remember, like straight like kids out of control.
Yep, crazy. That Camille that married that grammar guy. She was like one of the main like dancers on spring break.
Yeah.
Kelsey Kramer, what is it? Kelsey Grammer?
Kelsey Grammer?
Yeah, she married him.
Really?
They're
From
divorced now.
Frasier?
Yeah.
No way. I mean, I just remember it being like just straight like at it was just mind blowing.
Eric Neat back in the day.
Yeah, like a lot of steroids going on there, a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking, a lot of garbage, a lot of craziness going on there. I'm not sure that would be allowed in this time period. I mean, it goes on, but I'm not sure if you could televise it like they were doing. Like they were like,
yeah. Just like all those, what is it? ED? What do you call those electric dance festivals?
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't record. They don't show what goes on.
That's right.
Definitely cutting back then. I don't even know if society these days would allow that.
Right? Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, everything's always on, being filmed at all times. Like I got cameras all over my house, but like. Not broadcasted, I guess, right? Like, I mean, I'm not sure that, MTV Spring Break, any person under 35 probably doesn't even remember this. So, but, or maybe 30. They should check it out though, because it's something that probably was, it came out of nowhere. People were kind of appalled by it, and then it's gone, and I don't think it could be brought back. No,
I think the only thing, the Jersey Shore was the closest.
I was about to say that, Grade A Picks. I think the Jersey Shore spun off of that, right? Like that's where it spawned from, right? Yep. Like if we're talking back to Venom, the movie, like if something had to come out of blood of Spring Break MTV, it was the Jersey Shore, right?
Yeah, wild.
Yeah. All right, so hey, we're gonna wrap it up now. It is a Saturday night, which is great for the people who like fights. And any well wishes you got, Grade A Picks for the people for their fight night. I call it our fight night. It's everybody's fight night. What do you got for everybody?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate being on here. And I don't know, I think some quick picks real quick on the undercard. I like Daywood, and I'm going to botch his name, Najuiano. He's facing some Canadian Barat.
All right, that's what you got, huh? So you're throwing a little bit of a couple dimes at these people, huh? Hopefully they'll pick them up.
Exactly.
So, all right, well, hey, thanks for coming on, and I'll see you again on here soon, all right?
Thanks again. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care.
Bye.